We are continuing with the project Likkutei Sichos. This week is Parshas Vayishlach, Chelek Sicha Dale, the fourth Sicha in Omed 224 in Likkutei Sichos. Whoever has a Likkutei Sichos with them, very geschmack Sicha, and could understand that. I mean, it's down to earth to understand, not complicated. Very geschmack. The Rebbe is going to explain what happens when a child becomes 13 years old. Then it becomes the Oila Mitzvahs. It becomes a Bar Mitzvah. Why by 13? And what is 13? Connection to the Parsha is a very simple connection. Because one of the opinions, where do we learn about Bar Mitzvah by 13, is from today's Parsha, as we're going to start the Sicha with this opinion that we learn it from this Parsha. Then the Rebbe is going to ask a beautiful, very hard question that by the Rabbeim, we see by the Bar Mitzvahs of the kids, they used to say a Maimar, and the Maimar would start Nas Odom. So the Rebbe has a beautiful question. We learn that in a Posik. It says, Shimon v'Levi achidino ish harboy. What are you coming in all of a sudden with the Odom? And especially the Rebbe is going to say in the details in the Sicha, Odom and Ish are two separate walls. So either is a Ish or is a Odom. It can be a Odom by 13. So what is Odom here? It's very beautiful what it means, and it's going to be a great lesson at the end. What does it mean? How to prepare a boy to Bar Mitzvah, and not only to Bar Mitzvahs, we have to know ourselves every day in our life. When we get up, what we have to do and how we have to do it. Okay. Exactly, we're going to mention by then. Yes. Shalom Rodetsky, we're going to mention by then. Yes. Yeah. It's going to be all details. Yeah. Okay. Ois Aleph. Im Posuk vayikru shnei bnei Yankiv Shimon v'Levi achidino ish chava goyim azogen Chazal. As they seien dann gewähnt 13 Jahre alt. And the Rebbe brings down from the Medrash Likkutei and Sichos. Each one has different opinions how they were Bar Mitzvah. And don't forget one thing, that it can be that Shimon and Levi are Bar Mitzvah at the same time. Can be. Shimon was born a year before Levi. So Shimon was before 14 or somewhere, and Levi just became Bar Mitzvah. Yeah, the Shimon also, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Und von dem lernt man Arois, dem Dim from Vayishlach mitzvahs. The one opinion that we learned out that Vayishlach mitzvahs from this Pasuk. Why is it? So the Rebbe says, Baal Tzid Gimel Shona wird und angerufen Ish. If you call him with the name Ish, was weist of Gadlus. Ish weist that it's not no more a child. He becoming a new person. Wie steht, the Rebbe brings two proof. Steht by Moshe when they killed the Mitzri in Parshas Mois. So he told them, Misom Chole Ish. Ish means somebody. Who are you that you're telling me and doing things? And another thing we see by David HaMelech when he told Shloime, V'chozakto ve'oiso le'ish. So I see that Ish shows on something, be strong and be a man and be a Ish. Das heißt, als Yud Gimel Shono, der gerechter zu der Meile von einer Erwachsenen. It becomes like an adult. Von einer Godel in Seichel und Dei. Darüber wird dann mechuyev bechol ha-mitzvahs. That's why you could say that he's chayev in all the mitzvahs. Und Chodshes can sein ha-mitzvahs. The Rebbe says, although it could be as soll sein a Bar Seichel euch far Yud Gimel Shono. That's possible. It should be a very smart boy. And by 10 years old, he's already smart enough. He understands everything. So the Rebbe said, euch far Yud Gimel Shono. Von deswegen, bald es fällt die Shleimus Adas ve'ergesh. We have a very interesting concept. When he becomes 13, he fulfilled in Seichel and in feelings. Hat noch nicht der Akore vergosh sein dem Teilkeit von meinem Mitzvah side of the song. It could be that he's smart by 10 years old, but to feel the richness of mitzvahs in Torah and how to do it, and chas v'sholem in the negative not to do it, he doesn't have it yet. When it comes to 13, then he has it. And the Rebbe brings in the brackets proof from the Rebbe Nishmos Seiden in Kuntras Atfile, also quotations from the Rebbe Rashab's words that it's mamish proof to our concept that we want to bring up. If we get of the dogma euch from Mile Dalme, we see it in Mile Dalme. Mile Dalme means in worldly things. We see it also not only, as we said just now, that he doesn't have the full geschmack and understanding and feeling for Torah mitzvahs, how good it is, and God forbid if you don't do it. What's the dogma? As a feeling when the cotton fire gives schon versteht gut die Meile von Mama Vigdule, von deswegen der Losch of the Rebbe Rashab, a mit so in shel Mama Vigdule rochet men. He understands what means money. He knows, other Rabbi, the Rambam says you want to teach him how to learn Torah, you start with money, you start with presents. They know what it is, a present, they know what money is. But the Rebbe says the real thing, what money means, he doesn't have it now. noch weit von zu oben in See, nemes a kor energisch wie a Godel. He doesn't have the same feeling as a Godel knows what money means. This is in positive. Und also Jochen dem Eper davon in Schifflus wird alles. He understands. He sees that his friend has in his house whatever he wants, and in his house there's Schifflus, there's Dalus. So he feels, he knows what it means Schifflus with Dalus. As Chotsche versteht sich Chisor. He knows that it's not good to be a poor person. Is bei ihm nicht wie bei a Godel, was is again the loss of the Rebbe Rashab. Margish Eitef Chisor Hashim a Godel understands more. He understands fully what it means to be shuffle, low, and poor. The Rebbe is nicht verantwortlich. So even if he's a smart boy by 10 years old, he doesn't have the full feeling, full understanding of what it means to do it and not to do things, but Chas v'Sholem not to do it. Dennoch, der Rebbe ist nicht verantwortlich für seine Meis. Man kann ihm nicht darauf legen, he's not responsible. He's too young, he doesn't feel the rich. Our mitzvahs are good and our Torah is good. So how could you put on mitzvahs on him? He's not going to do it. He doesn't feel it. When do you do it? When he becomes 13. So it's a concept. When he becomes 13, he becomes a ish, has the feeling and understanding what means Torah. Base, as we mentioned before, in base, the Rebbe is going to bring the story with the Rabbi, and then he's going to ask the question and beautiful explanation. Base. Rabbi Yisheinu Nesienu, Kamo v'Kamo Pom b'Chagigas Bar Mitzvah gesagt hat, Maimar Onem mit dem Posik, Nase Odom. The Rebbe brings down in the footnotes number 10, Nase Odom Tov Reish Mem. Tov Reish Mem was the Rebbe Maharash at 3 sons, the Razo, the Rebbe Rashab, and then Menachem Mendel. Menachem Mendel's Bar Mitzvah was Tov Reish Mem. So Tov Reish Mem, the Rebbe Maharash said, Maimar, Nase Odom. And also interesting to mention, I don't know what the Rebbe wants to tell us with us. The next thing, the Rebbe says that he started a lot of times by more of Nase Odom. They said it Nase Odom, and then when they gave it to Kapi, give it out, they took off the Nase Odom the beginning. They start with the Maimar with the Indian of Chassidus. Very interesting. Okay, but Meise Bepoel, they start with Nase Odom, is der verstandig, as the Reim von der Bar Mitzvah, oder Scheich ist jetzt der Madrege von Odom. Adam was by starting the Maimar with Odom. Was is a echere madrege with a toyar ish. It's a much higher level than ish. Kemevur become a koimus. It's explained in the Chassidus. When I get the first shemus was a mensch wird man sie angerufen. Every mensch, I don't know if it means it probably means Eden. Aid has 4 names that we could describe in Hayom Yom. It brings down the description. Today's no, today's Tzaddik. Today different, not today's. Yeah, but there is 4 names in Hayom Yom. The Rebbe explains what is the difference between each one. So we see Odom, Ish, Gever, Enosh. There's 4 darges. As the erste von der alle nehmen ist das Shem Odom, was weiß auf sein Shleimus. Odom means in Shleimus, and is nicht moving. Now comes the question: Bald as zu libchiyuva mitzvah shuna ben yud gimel is genug die Matrege von Ish. Right? It says, we learn that from the Posik, that says, Ish, was verbindet man the meaning from Bar Mitzvah mit der Madrege von Odom? What are you mixing in here Odom? That has nothing to do with that. Is Bar Mitzvah even with a lower level, when it's just Ish, is Mechoy B'mitzvahs. So why the Rabbein would say, Nase Odom. Ois Gimel. Ois Gimel is going to explain what is the difference between Odom and Ish. According to this, we're going to understand it. Why the Rabbein added on the idea of Odom. The Unterschied zwischen Ish and Odom, what's the difference between Ish and Odom? Is der Toyar Ish bezieht sich zu der Dage von Seichel, was sich scheich zu Mides, Ergesh und in dem Guf ist eine Voran, kamen Madreges, bis das Bestemmus von der Dage kommt, wenn wird, Abenesrim. As we said before, that Ish means that he is fully growing up in Seichel, that he could appreciate mitzvahs, Torah, and appreciate also Chas v'Sholem if you don't do it. So that means that he has Mides and he has Ergesh Alev also. And in this, there's a lot of levels in there. And the Toyar Odom, Bavais, you know what, it's a very, very simple thing. The Chassidus is brought on a lot of times that a child has a very little seichel. That's why he gets upset with everything. The Geishim has nothing to do with seichel. Mashenki, when somebody comes to 13, his seichel is being developed, and that's why he could put the mitzvahs on him. This is the idea of Ish. When is he becoming fully, completely developed? When he's Ben Esrim. As the Rebbe brings down, Ben Esrim, as the halacha is that somebody has Sholem passed away and he left somebody 13, 14 years old, and he has a lot of fields and the son wants to go sell it. Torah says, no, you can't sell it because he's not developed completely. Somebody's going to be nice to him and give him a pat on his back, so he's going to give it him for cheap. This is not what Torah wants. Torah wants it should be Rayel, it should be a a real sale and you should make the money to have from where to live. When could you do it? Limko benichsei oviv is only when he becomes 20. Then he becomes an Odom. So we have Ish is 13 is ayin of Seichel, and full, when is he full developed? When he's 20. The Toya Odom beweist auf der Meile von Seichel, was ist Echa von sein Scheich zu Midas. So we have a child that's Midas without Seichel. Comes Bar Mitzvah, you have Seichel that it controls the Midas. When it comes to 20, you become Seichel that it's not even Scheich to Midas. Seichel is that it is for you. You developed your Seichel, nothing to do with Midas. You understand something, you learn something. It's a completely different thing. So he brings out here the difference between Ish and Odom. No, them, according to what you just learned, that Ish is the development of Seichel. And Odom is when he's been completely developed in Seichel, Aya the Midas. So Leidem wird noch mehr schwer der Zusammenhang genannt von Nase Odom mit Bar Mitzvah. According to this, the question becomes even stronger. Why do the Rabbeim say Nase Odom when it's nothing to do? He's not a Odom yet. He's only Ish. Wie kann man verbinden die Meile von Odom mit denen, was ist sehr stark geworden, so how do you connect something with Odom with somebody who just became 13 years old? You're comparing. We learn it out from Ish, and that's why he gets the mitzvahs, because he's been by 13 he becomes developed. The seichel is being developed in a way that he's controlling his midas already. So how do you compare it with something that he becomes 20 and is completely a different level? Muss man sagen, but the Rabbeim did say this Maimar, so I have to look what is the reason here, what's going on here. Muss man sagen, als die Kavona dabei ist, als Chotschen Yonef von der Bar Mitzvah ist, was wird an Ish, kenn ich Kaloid? Le meiste bepoel is it becomes a Ish. Und deswegen beim Kiyama Mitzvahs muss man auch mal noch der Sprech von Dagas Odom. The Rabbeim said in Maimar, they have intention that when it comes to Kiyama Mitzvah, he is becoming a Ish. But when we're talking about this Ish, how is he going to be Mekayim the Mitzvahs? You have to push in here also the union of Odom. And the Rebbe is going to explain a completely different level what it means Odom, not we explained till now. What is Odom? How is that? Shiv Dalet is going to explain why is it not enough Ish by 13, and we have to mix in Odom also how to be Mekayim the Mitzvahs. How is that? The mocker from them, as is nicht maßlich die Dage von Ish, where's the source? That it's not enough. Where did the Rebbe take the source? Unbelievable, the Rebbe's ideas. The Rebbe brings out that the source that you need Odom is in the same posting that we learn out that he is having Bar Mitzvah by Ish. In the same posting, it tells us that we need Odom also. Amazing. Der Mocker von der Misas ist nicht maßlich Gedanke von Ish, ist von dem posting bei Ikru Ish Chaboy. The same posting that it says, it says, Vaikru Shnei Bnei Yankev Shimon V'Levi Achedino Ish Chaboy. From Vaikru Ish Chaboy is forcing us to come something about Odom. Gufe from Vaikru Ish Chaboy Gufe warum Lechoire is schwer. Lechoire it's not understood here. Der Chidish was kommt zu bei Ben Yud Gimel Shona was lieb im Wert am Choiv Mitzvahs ist doch nicht in Mides noch in Seichel und das Schachel Mides. We just established in the previous column that why is he becoming a Bar Mitzvah by 13? Because his Seichel is being developed, that he understands the severity of not doing mitzvahs and understand the good of doing Torah mitzvahs. Yeah? So the bottom line is that he grew up in Seichel. So the Rebbe is asking, das was wird aber das, was ist heute zu verstehen. You understand what is the precious of Torah? The Meile nehmen auf sich dem Joch und der Chais von Torah mitzvahs, right? This is the idea why you could take the yoke of Torah mitzvahs. And we came and the Soplan and the Rebbe says there's an unbelievable contradiction in the same posik. You're telling me that he's a Ish, and that's why he's becoming a Bar Mitzvah. Now you're telling me, how do we learn that? What did Shimon V'Levi do? They did the most greatest thing to show emotions. They got upset and they used the seichel. And Rebbe brings on in the footnote number 17 star. Rei Parshas Seinu, Vayichar lo'em me'oid. They became very in kas, very upset. And look in Pirush Rashi Vayichi when Yankev gave him the broches, be'apom. So what is connection? It's unbelievable. Yes, that's what the question is. So you're telling me that it becomes Aish, and you're telling me what did they do? They did something that it's Eipech HaSeichel. Let's see inside. And we came in the Soplan from Posik Vaikru Ish Chaboy, Vayargu Kol Zochor, was sein Teuchen is a Peule, Vayikru, Vayargu, was kommt von, as you said, here, es kommt von Teuke Vamides, has to do with the out, not with the brain. So, but we still see that the Posik says Ish, and it says Vaikru Chaboy. The Rebbe is going to take the Vaikru Chaboy and transform it, not in a in of Midas in this. I'll give you just the clue what the Rebbe is going to bring. The idea of Vaikru Chaboy is going to tell us the union of Mesiras Nefesh. Mesiras Nefesh has to do with Odom, And that's why we see in the same pasuk that is take ish because his seichel is developed, he's becoming bar mitzvah. But to start, how do you start a bar mitzvah boy? How do you teach him to be bar mitzvah? Vayikru ish charboy. Has to start with Mesiras Nefesh. No Mesiras Nefesh, nothing is going to be good. Beautiful. Is the fun mashma. So what do we see from this? As the Toicha Kosu Vayikru Argu enthalten sich a Meile, was is nicht muchach in Dargas Ish. It has an advantage. This idea of Vayikru Charboy as something higher that it's not in Ish. Now, do here where the Darga Bishlemuso. True Vayikru Ish Charboy is completing the Ish. The Ish is not a Ish unless he has Vayikru Charboy. The Choyer is contradicting. How could it be? The Rebbe is going to explain it. The Rebbe came in Deutschland from the Posik nicht noch als wenn Yud Gimel Mitzvahs, weil is Ish Tam Moichin. Na Roich as Dargas Ish Tam is genug. It's not enough. Und wir muss euch rein muss euch you must have also the Meile, was is Merume sind Vayikru Goimer. Was is Vayikru? The Rebbe is going to explain what it is. Damit ist euch verstandig, was Rabbi Shen in the Sehen bei Gigas Bar Mitzvah gesagt am Maimar. Dibra Maskel Nase Odom. Now we understand why they say it Nase Odom. As we just established that there's a contradiction in the posting. It says Ish and it says Vayikru Charboy. So the Choyer is contradicting. The Rebbe says no. This is an addition on Ish that you can't be a Ish as it's supposed to be unless you have the Odom. Not the Odom to go sell your father's properties. No, this not talking about this. About a completely different thing. Damit ist verstanden, was Rabbi Shen sehen mit der Chigas Bar Mitzvah. Gesagt am Maimar Dibra Maskel Nase Odom, weil Gamas der Klolus Dikerim von Aben Yud Gimel Mitzvah ist mit dem was dann wird von der Ish über das Knall. The main thing is that it becomes a seichel, and you could understand, appreciate what means Torah mitzvahs. That's why we're putting the yoke in it. And that's when still is das allein nicht genug. This is not enough. Und wir muss euch ankommen zu der Raspoe von euch mo avoide von Nase Odom. You need the Odom. What is it? What is bedeutet zu der avoide von Vayikru Ketelekamon? The Rebbe gave us this the outline, the foundation. Now he's going to explain it. The Abir Bazeh. When you get the Moker Adin, the Chagav comes in here a very geschmack pickle that it's not so again the Sicha, but it's very geschmack. This I say. The Abir Bazeh. When you get Moker Adin from Yud Gimel Mitzvahs gefindt man 2 days. As I said before when we started, that one of the opinions is that's why it's connected with this Parsha. Because in our Parsha it says Vayikru Shnei Bnei Yankev Achei Dino Ish Charboy. So this is the one opinion that we learn now that is Bar Mitzvah. Aleph, Kenal, as we just learned at the beginning, as we learned das Harosh von unser Apostel. Beis, das ist einer von den Shiurim, wo seinen Aloche le Moshe Messinai. It's nothing to do as we established before. By the Gimel Shana you're being developed. No, it's to do with a shiur Aloche le Moshe Messinai. The Rebbe told Moshe Rabbeinu, when a child becomes 13 years old, it doesn't matter. He could be smart by 10 also, and it could be sometimes by 50 becoming fully responsible to take the Torah mitzvahs. Doesn't matter. The opinion says Aloche le Moshe Messinai. What's the difference between both of them? The Chelek zwischen den zwei Limudim, lo yidarash that is a shlib shinui hateva. According to the first one that we say that each the seichel is being developed and is becoming a man, as so is the teva for Rav Nodom. Rav Nodom by 13 they become different. As so 13 Jahre wird man a godel beseichel vedei. Lo yidat zweit, this is according to the first day. Lo yidat zweiter day is es a loche diker din von the shiurim a loche le Moshe Messinai. There's so many things in Torah Bechlau. There's Aloche le Moshe Messinai. There's no mocker in Torah of it. Just that Moshe Rabbeinu told like this, and from generation to generation it came over. I think one of the most one mitzvah that has the most Aloche le Moshe Messinai is by film. The square and the black and 3 squares and everything, huh? The shin, yeah, shin. Why make a shin one side? If you 3 on one side 4, because one of the interesting opinions is he mentioned that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know if this is a shin 1, 2, 3, or this is a shin inside. Outside is 4, but inside is a shin. You see it? There's 3 here. Either 3 this or 3 here. That's why we make 4, because inside you have a shin. Anyway, so we have Aloche le Moshe Messinai. Has nothing to do with von the Shurim und nicht mit dem Shinui HaTeva. The Rebbe brings some very geschmack in the probably in the next page. Yes, okay. Now the Rebbe is going to bring it a beautiful thing, a difference between first opinion and second opinion. First opinion is that it's being developed, it's becoming a ish. Second opinion is no. Torah said Aloche le Moshe Messinai. The Rebbe said Aloche le Moshe Messinai. Now Aloche and Bnei Noach b'chuyev b'kim mitzvah zayit zayin b'chuyev. Unbelievable. When is Bnei Noach being b'chuyev b'mitzvahs? According to the first opinion that by 13 you're becoming a mensch, they're the same thing. If I say that it's Halacha L'Moshe Sinai, the Rambam in Hilchos Melachim paskin that Bnei Noach have nothing to do with Halacha L'Moshe Sinai. What does it mean? If there's a thing that there's a shir, let's say Eva Menachai, there's a shir. You have to eat something that you should be chayiv. By them, if you ate as much as you could chew it in the swallows, chayiv mise. Gzeile by us, shave prute, not a shave prute. It's not a din of gzeile. By them, if it takes even a half a prute, is chayiv mise. So, because they have no shiurim. If they have no shiurim, so when it's becoming bar mitzvah, one of the main things that of the Sheva mitzvahs Bnei Noach is the Shev Botei Dinin. Yeah, either we use the Dalet of Dinin. It goes according to the Aleph base. From Aleph till Zion, we have the Sheva mitzvahs Bnei Noach. As the Sefer Time Aminogim brings it, explains it how it is. So, if they have Botei Dinin, we'll have to go to Bezdin, and this Bezdin, the Goyish Bezdin, they be checking the boy and say, you're a little child by 13, you don't not mechuyev b'mitzvahs. You could do whatever you want still. Some people are going to be mature by 18, some by 15, and some of them by 10 is going to be mechuyev b'mitzvahs by 10. That's the difference between the first opinion and the second opinion. Let's see it inside. Mashenkin der andere day, as the Klav mit Gimel mitzvahs Halacha L'Moshe Sinai is verstandig, as by Benoach. If I say Halacha L'Moshe Sinai, Benoach, what they need not sure in the loss of the Rambam, they didn't get the shiurim. As we said before, not Eva Menachai, not Zele, in a lot of more things that are shiurim, they don't have it. Lloyd is the godless tluya by yet name. Lloyd sein seichel v'das and sein tchune tivis. Let's see what he is. If he by 13 they're going to be checked if he's bar mitzvah or not. So the Rebbe says, Vov, did Amonte 2 days by Avodah Sodom. What is these 2 days that we learn? That one day is that you're becoming by 30, you're becoming a ish. The second opinion is that it has to do with the union of Halacha L'Moshe Sinai. What's it in Avodah Hashem? What does it show us? So Rebbe is going to say that in Svei Yofanim in the Beseder, there's darf sein, der Atcholos Avodah von Haiden in Kimat. These 2 things is going to show us how we have to prepare for B'Seder, and also as the Atcholos Avodah von Haiden, obviously it means also every day when we get up, a new day comes, how we have to serve the Eibishter. The day of Rishon, according to the first opinion, is that our Eif Mishal Avodah Al Pitam V'Das. Why is it becoming Bar Mitzvah? Because his seichel is being developed in a way that he understands the preciousness of Torah. To say wie bald as ein Chiv, so mekayim sein Mitzvah is abhängig in Teva Shleimus HaSeichel V'das. Because I say that he's Bar Mitzvah because his seichel is being developed then, as when rot ha'kore and ha'argoshe, when he has a feeling and he has a recognition in Inyan HaMitzvahs, take one of him arov the Meil HaMitzvahs. Right? So what does it mean? Seichel. That's the whole idea of Ish. He becomes aber Seichel. Is verstandig, as der Onib von seiner Avoide is in Haufen von Tam V'das. So the first opinion tells us that the Avoide of a child has to be with Seichel Das. When it comes to the second opinion, Leute, der zweite, der Ober ist das, was aber Gimel schon, muss mit Kabel sein auf sich. Der Moil Mitzvahs ist es Halacha L'Moshe Sinai. Der Fall, was Azoi, ist der Tzivui HaKodesh Baruch Hu. The Rebbe brings it out. What means Halacha L'Moshe Sinai? I'm not doing it because I understand. I'm not doing it because my Seichel. Why am I doing it? Tzivui HaKodesh. The idea of Halacha L'Moshe Sinai, a new look, the Rebbe's look in Halacha L'Moshe Sinai, it's a yin of Tzivui HaKodesh Baruch Hu. That's why I'm doing it. So what is it? Kabbalah Tol, Mesiras Nefesh, nothing to do with development of Seichel. So Ish is Seichel, in Odom is going to tell us the yin of Ayad and Seichel Mesiras Nefesh. Kommt euch, as ein Onib Zugang zu Kiyam HaMitzvahs, ist Leuten Seder Avoide von Kabbalah. The Rebbe brings an hour in 24 beautiful. The Gemara says in Yevomes, the Gemara, all the debaters, somebody came and he said something. So somebody, another Tanya asked them, tell me, is this your opinion, or you're bringing an opinion from somewhere else, or you're bringing from somewhere, from where you came, from yeshiva, wherever you come, is it halacha? Then so there's a difference. What the Rebbe says, if you say that it's halacha, nekabel. I have no choice. If it's halacha, I'm nekabel. Shebeim ledin, because if you want to have an argument, if you're saying it as an opinion, yes, sure, I could refute it. I could ask you a question about it and say that you're not correct. If you're coming, you say it's halacha, nothing but to talk about. Difference between when you gimel ish, when you gimel odom. With gimel ish is seichel, development of seichel. With gimel odom is higher than seichel. What is that? According to this opinion, that it's not a union of a shir. It's a union of Halacha L'Moshe Sinai. Has nothing to do with the union of development of seichel. Shows of Tzivui HaKodesh Baruch Hu. That's why I'm doing it. Ois zayin. Euch Ledeo Aleph, as wir im Posik bei Ikhu Ish Charboy, Vayikro ish charboi. Learned men arois as the atcholas avoide b'yidgim lemitzvahs is al pitam v'das. Not the Rebbe is going to say that even according to our posik that we say that is a ish, and that's why is mechoyev b'mitzvahs. Even there we're going to also a beautiful thing. We're going to see there also has to be the idea of Kabbalah Sol. From where do we see it? Vayikro ish charboi. What is that? Mesiras Nefesh. So you have Ish is Seichel, Vayikro ish charboi is higher than Seichel, Mesiras Nefesh, because the Rebbe Shtav said it. Kabbalah Sol. Even according to the first day, the whole opinion of the first day is why, because when Shlosh Yisrael becomes a Ish, Seichel is being developed. The Rebbe says, is al Tam Vedas, von deswegen still, von dem Gufe, was man lernt, es ob Vayikro ish charboi, yeah? A Peule von Mesiras Nefesh. That's what it is. It's muchach. I'm forced to say, as their day, even according to this opinion, that we learn it out from the posik ish, is the Rinyan von Kima Mitzvah Sabund mit der Avoide von Mesiras Nefesh, Lemailo min Asech. Beautiful as Rabbi brings it out. Now from the same posik we learn both in Yonim, and it's not contradicting other Rabbi. It shows you that a Bar Mitzvah can get ready for Bar Mitzvah, but getting up in the morning, what do? First thing is Moidani, before next. The idea lechatchile is Kabbalah Sol, no Seichel completely. And Chassidus, as we learned last week, Sicha, that usually Oidoe means praising. Pam Oides Hashem, by Yehuda was born in less Parsha. But Chassidus is saying Oidoe means also Meloshen Moidim Chachomim Lerabonon. Beetle. Moidani Lefonecho is the I'm thanking you gave him back my saying no. It's like thanking Hashem. But with that also we have another Pirush that Moide Beetle morning. As soon as I wake up, is Moidani. And they even turn the Oidu Hashem Kiru Vishmoidet. We start Oidu, so this that doesn't mean only Oidu praise, it means also beetle. Admitting. The word in English is Moidani Lefonech. Okay. So the Rebbe says now, established now, that in this posting we have both things. So the Rebbe says, how could you say it? We just established at the beginning. But what is the idea of is Eichel? Now you're coming and mixing me in something else? How could it be? But it's not contradicting as Leute day is es an avoided al Pesach with das because ish weil agamas the etzem avoided auf sein mit der Korre der Sorge in dem Nehmen the etzem avoided when you do the avoid has to be with Pesach. We learned last week in long that when you learn you have to understand it. The beginning has to be nafshi kovol akolti dem tzach li b'Pesach. But the achon has to be with bittul, but the learning has to be davke with Pesach. If you don't understand, you don't have to make him a broche birchas HaTorah. And deswegen starting the avoid, the beginning of the avoid is all davke. So it's not a spirit what we learned before. The avoid take is ish, is the end of seichel, and the avoid at the beginning is lemailo mezeh. This lemailo mitam vedas. Weil no ben der Yesod, listen to these words. Weil no ben der Yesod is Kabbalah Sol, can the avoid von Kima Mitzvahs mit der Sorge sein bis outside. When could you avoid it be as it's supposed to be with seichel? When you start with Mesiras Nefesh, when you start with the Indian of Kabbalah Sol. Oisches. Now the Rebbe is going to bring from Parshas Nitzovim proof that it's interesting that we see the idea of that Mesiras Nefesh has to be the Kabbalah Sol. Nefesh has to be the Yesod, the beginning of the Avodah and beginning of probably every day. Oisches. From the Choches del Sof, where do we get proof? So the Rebbe says in the Azores Haklolios of Kimat Mitzvah state. When the Rebbe tells us about the general telling us how to guard the mitzvahs. It says in Parshas Nitzovim, Rei nosati lefonecha hayom esachayim v'satoiv ubocharto b'chaim. Look, I'm giving you life and good, and the Rebbe said, please choose life. The Rebbe has a beautiful question. The mensch zet doch shoym beine sichle. The Torah tells you, hey, look, and I'm looking and I see that it's good. As the Torah mitzvah is chayim v'toiv. It's life and it's good. So livos darf man ihm noch sagen, as soll beuch sein b'chaim. What is it here? It's a double. It's a repetition. Why is he saying it? If you tell a mensch with seichel, you're telling him, hey, nosati lefnei hayom misachayim misatoiv. I'm sure he's going to choose this. Why is he b'charto b'chaim? Now the biur was that the Rebbe brings a geschmacken biur, and according to this, we'll understand it. Oib die Bchire von den Menschen, teure Mitzvah wird sein, wir used nur auf sein Seichel, von der Idee, also seine Chaim betoiv. So what do you want? It shouldn't say B'charto b'chaim. How are you going to know to choose Chaim? Because it says so why are you choosing it? Because you see that it's good. That's not good. It's not the avoid. What's the avoid? The Rebbe says B'charto b'chaim. That's why you're doing it. A completely different thing. You B'charto b'chaim because the Rebbe says it's eye of Seichel. This is the idea of B'charto b'chaim. let's start again. Oder wie was? Ob die Bechira von den Menschen, if a person gonna choose von Teuro Mitzvahs, mit seinem noch auf sein Seichel abonne bei dir, als seine Chaim beteuert, because you see that it's good, ist damit noch nicht genau wie das Hashem. Der Rebbe underline. Wird genau wie das Hashem, ist not weil der Rebbe von Avodas Hashem ist bei Avodas Oeved Leboy. This is the idea of Avodas Hashem. What's Oeved Ladoi? Alles, was Eved tut, ist das mit dem Oil, was not auf ihm aufgelegt. What is the Eved doing? He doesn't understand. The guy could tell him two things that doesn't make any sense. Tells him tomorrow to do the same thing. Doesn't matter. Why is he doing it? Because that's his order. And the father of the Priras Odom and Torah Mitzvah said, "Kodesh Baruch Hu, Bocharto B'chaim." Eved is not understanding. Eved is doing because of Bocharto. That's why the Torah says Bocharto B'chaim. So the Rebbe has now another question. If Bocharto B'chaim is enough, that has to be because the Rebbe told you. Why did he tell you Reino Sati? Take out Reino Sati. Just say it. Rebbe said Bocharto B'chaim. What's the Reino Sati? The Rebbe is going to answer. No, further, before it comes the idea of Bocharto, do it because the Rebbe is the Posik Magdim Reino Sati. It must be Reino Sati. Unoich in dem Tzivui Bocharto is the Posik Madgish Bocharto B'chaim. Not only Urei, but also Bocharto B'chaim. Weil der Rebbe das Zayin Teure Mitzvah soll durchdringen die ganze Mitzvah von Menschen. Und der Rebbe muss euch sein, Sechel benehmen und Margi sein, dass Teure Mitzvah seine Chaim wird. If it's going to be only the Rebbe, it's not good enough. It has to be, again, like by Torah. The Yesod avoid is Sichos Nefesh Kabbalah Soul. When you're going to learn, it has to be with Sechel. When you become Bar Mitzvah, and your Sechel is developed. Same thing is here also. Reino sa telefonecho, it should penetrate through and through. What? Ubocharto B'chaim, the Rebbe gives it to you. So we have both. We have the end of Sichos Nefesh, Bocharto B'chaim. I'm doing it just because the Rebbe said. But then when I'm doing it, I have to understand it and do it fully. It should take through. Not, when you have the Sichos Nefesh, not always it's taking through all your limbs, all your body and everything. Oysters. Now we're going to come to the conclusion. The Rebbe is going to answer now. Why the Rabbeim said, Nase Odom, very geschmack, very simple. Als wir kolonal mit werden verständig die Scheiche von aber mit Nase Odom. In dem Bild von Teuer Odom gefindt mit zwei Unionen. Odom as in them two concepts. Tachlis Ashlemus und Prina Sechel Kanal Seif Gimel. Yeah, he becomes Boni, he becomes a Odom, higher than Ish. There's Odom Ish Gvar Enosh. Odom is the highest level. Then he's Limko ben Nichseyovi. We could sell and he could buy and he could do everything. This is one thing. And interesting, we have a contradiction in the same word in Odom. Odom, the Rebbe brings down from Medrash Bereshis Rabbi, and Rashi brings it down. Rebbe, Odom is oishesh me'oid. When you twist around the letters, Odom becomes me'oid. Anybody knows what is me'oid? Me'oid. B'chinas bli gvul, what is echa from seichel. That's me'oid. So in Odom itself, Odom is the idea of becoming 20, becoming fully established, fully man. And from the other side, I say that it's higher than seichel. How could it go together? And the B'china in the mention brings the question in Vosser is a medaber. Where do we see the idea that it's higher from seichel? That is, we call us medaber. Doimim tzemeach, chai medaber. Why do we call it medaber? Why do we call it odom? Doimim tzemeach, chai odom. A person. Why is it medaber? Because the Rebbe brings out very geschmack. Warum sein koyach hadibur kommt von dem Blick wohl she benafshe, was is echer from mailas a seichel. In general, there's a seichel that it's seichel is. Ich see this brought down that Avram, the Maimon of the Bar Mitzvah, that Avram Avinu was it. Oh, why? Because seichel, you need quiet and it's for yourself. Midas needs somebody else. Not there. So the midah of Avram Avinu, same thing is here. It says also the same thing. That seichel is for yourself. When is somebody else involved with you when it comes to dibo, to speech? Speech is to reveal whatever you have in your mind, whatever you have in your nefesh. You're revealing it to somebody with dibo. So dibo is bringing out the idea of higher than seichel. So we see that in Odom, in the word Odom itself, we have the idea of Seichel and higher from Seichel. Where is it? Now the Rebbe is going to say why we have both in Yonim. We bald as beide in Yonim zijn im demselben Teuer Odom. Yeah, it can't be that it should be contradicting. There's no way in the world that the Rebbe gave a word or the Rebbe gave a posik and there should be contradicting Pirushim on it. Odom is Seichel and Odom is higher than Seichel. What's going on here? It can't be. We bald as beide in Yonim zijn im demselben Teuer Odom. Darf man sagen, als Odom Sheiches einer zum anderen, that's connected between them. What's the connection? The Rebbe says in Avoid, what is it? I did the connection between Odom Seichel and Odom Lemailum Seichel Me'oid. Euch wenn der Mensch kommt zu Tachlis Hashlemus in Seichel, Prinas Seichel von Odom, he comes to the level of Seichel is in the highest level, was er sagt auf den Seichel von Ish, as we established before, higher than Ish, muss ankommen zu Sichos Nefesh, Shelemailum Seichel. He needs higher than Seichel. The Rebbe brings them beautiful, the Rebbe Rashab in Emshchayim Beis, עצמו מכריח שיש למעלה בין השכל. The Mensch thinks he could come to a conclusion through Seichel that there must be thing that is higher than. So this is the idea. Even when you come to Odom, you become completed Ish, it has to be in a way also higher than Seichel. Now, so now we talk about the other side in Seichel. Euch wenn bei ihm leicht der Koyach Mesiras Nefesh. When he has then the Mesiras Nefesh lemaylo ma Seichel, says when you're Ish, you have to be Odom also. Now when you're Odom, you have to be Ish also. Na so ich leider gesagt, euch wenn bei ihm leicht der Koyach Mesiras Nefesh lemaylo ma Seichel, soll sich damit nicht genug nehmen. Dann get satisfied with it. Nur soll sich mit Stadel sein, als die Mesiras Nefesh soll durchdringen. Durchdringen means that should penetrate and take through. Euch seine Koyach Sapnimim, es wird intensiv. Is Koyach HaSeichel. Seichel should also understand it. Not only Mesiras Nefesh, but Mesiras Nefesh should be penetrating all his body, all his this, and starting from Seichel. Und das ist einer von den Remosim, in dem was man gesagt hat zu Bar Mitzvah, dem Maiman Nase Odom. And this is one of the hints the Rabbi Maiman Nase Odom. They came to Shoras, to Weisen, to Shoras. As euch wenn mit der Gerecht zum Meilas HaSeichel v'Adas. When you reach to the level of Meilas HaSeichel v'Adas, when you're 13, that it's shaykh lemides, right? Before we said that a little child has only midas. Bar mitzvah you become shaykh that it's only the midas, shaykh lemides. Was damals wird gerufen ist es nicht genug. Und darf noch als ankommen zu der Avoide von nicht Charboy goyim. You need the idea of fish Charboy. What is it? Kabbalah Sol, Mesiras Nefesh, all the other things. Avoide is a Mesiras Nefesh, lemaylo ma Seichel, was is verbunden mit Prinas Odom, that it is oisesh moed. And we have a few minutes, so we'll continue. And it says, we know this is the only bar mitzvah that was mishtatev. It's talking about Reb Sholem Ber Gorodetsky that he just is still in his year that he passed away. And he was bar mitzvah in Tov Shin Yud Aleph. Chov Beis Tammuz Tov Shin Yud Aleph is bar mitzvah was. And the Rebbe sent his father 2 weeks before, he sent him to Morocco to open up Chabad and everything. And his mother was completely lost. His mother was Reb Shmuel Levit's daughter. Yeah. So his mother came also from Lubavitch and from very high rank Lubavitch. But she said, what do we do? My bar mitzvah in 2 weeks. So she went to the Rebbe and says, the Rebbe, what to do? The Rebbe says, if you're going to keep it quiet, don't tell everybody, don't make a tumult from it. You make the bar mitzvah upstairs in 770, and I'm going to pay, and I'm going to come to the bar mitzvah. The Rebbe came to the bar mitzvah, and one of the reasons I'm saying my own, we could say that the Rebbe spoke so much about Mesiras Nefesh to bring out the idea that the person, there's a video also, if anybody wants to look in a gem video and see what it tells about this bar mitzvah, Sholem Berger telling about the bar mitzvah, that he never read his father, he never knew who his father is. And he says there are unbelievable thing. He had a lot of fever and problem with the tonsils. And the doctor says that they must take it out. They took out the tonsils and he came home in the evening and the phone is ringing. And his mother is picking up the phone. He get to him. He takes the phone and he says, here is the Rebbe's our Rebbe's second name in his Mishpochnamen. Like to say, I don't want to say, here is Yankel Schneerson. My father-in-law asked me, the Friedrich Rebbe asked the Rebbe, he didn't send a Gabi, he didn't send a Mishamesh. He sent the Rebbe to call up and ask how the child is doing after taking out the tonsils. Unbelievable. So this is where the Friedrich Rebbe was still alive. Then in Tov Shin Yud Aleph was already, the Rebbe sent them to these places. And I think a little interesting, the Rebbe spoke by the Bar Mitzvah, besides the Mugadik Sicha that came out from a speech by a Bar Mitzvah. The Rebbe says, my father told me about the great Mesiras Nefesh of his father, the Rebbe Rashab. When it was the Ve'ida, when there was the meeting of the Rabbanim in Peter, and there was a story that they wanted that everybody should learn the things that they want, you know, public fear and all the worst things that it could be. Then they should learn to the young, they should feed it to the kids, and Chas v'Sholem, finishing the Judaism. Rabbi say that there's Chas v'Sholem, no God and all these things. So there was mamish a fight that the Rabbanim, nobody wanted it to happen. So the Rebbe says that in Shnas Tov Rishayin there was the meeting, and the Nefesh of the Rebbe's father, or the Friedrich Rebbe's father, tells the Rebbe was wonders. It was unbelievable, the Mesiras Nefesh, and no agbolas, no limitations to his Mesiras Nefesh. And the Rebbe says, my father-in-law added on, the Friedrich Rebbe added on, that once he saw his Mesiras Nefesh of his father, he couldn't hold himself back. He couldn't hold. He told his father in a way. How did he translate Sichos in English?
No, joke.
Another joke. Huh? Sarcastic. He said it in a sarcastic way. He told his father, you know, you have a mazel. That Mesiras Nefesh, there's no halacha in Shulchan Aruch of Mesiras Nefesh. He tells his father, if Mesiras Nefesh would have halacha in Shulchan Aruch, so you would be limited. Shulchan Aruch says when and what, because it doesn't say Shulchan Aruch, so you could do it as much. You could probably always Mesiras Nefesh. Unbelievable. And if the Rebbe up the Sicha, we have to be needy. But we should use the Mesiras Nefesh in a good way. So as we are not in a rush, we can take another minute and read what happens with the story that the Frierdiker Rebbe told the Rebbe, what happened then. So the story is a mavlik story, and we could hear it in a Verbringen. There's a tape of Yudalef, Yudbeis Stamos, Topshin Yudalef. Rebbe said that the Frierdiker Rebbe told them a story that when it was in Peterburg, the meeting, as we said before, and also the Goyen Reb Chaim Brisker was also there. And the Memshola asked that we should learn, that they have to learn some kind of ideas in Likkutei Choil. Likkutei Choil? How do you translate? Secular subjects. And obviously what it means, secular subjects there, means Kfir B'Hashem. And the Manigei Ador were very against it. The Rebbe says, yeah. There was a few reasons that the Memshola was very strong about it. They're not giving up. You must do it. And they said they want to make a chok, a law that everybody, every manik, every rov must learn all these things, the Likkutei Choil. And the Rebbe says, for the Asife, they sent a message from the Sarapnim, the inner minister sent a message to the committee that they're going to sit in this committee, that they're going to sit and decide if we're accepting it or not. So he said, if you're not going to take off your being against this, what the Memshola, the government is asking, remember, we're going to make pogroms in Jews in 101 cities in Russia. They threatened. If you're not going to accept it, that's what we're going to do. But by the end of the Asife, after all the Rabbonim spoke, and Reb Chaim Brisker also spoke, what the Rebbe said, everybody says that they're not accepting it. But there was one thing, they all spoke very nice and calm. You know, we're not accepting it. So the Rebbe Rashab then asked, I want to speak also. The last one. The Rebbe Rashab stood up and he started saying with a moirdike regesh, with a very passionate and very warm and very excited. And he said, the same words that we know, the Frierdiker Rebbe, when he came out of jail, and he went to Kastrama, he came to the train station, and before he left, what he said it from the Rebbe Rashab, the Rebbe Rashab said it by this Asife. What did he say? Not with our will we went to Goles, and not with our will we're going to get out of Goles. Only our goof is in Goles. Our neshama is not in Golus. Nobody has any ruling over our neshama. And the Rebbe finished, and he said, also, it's forbidden b'shum oifen to take this gzeire. And the Rebbe said, I don't know what he said. He finished with a very warm, artsy word. It doesn't say what it is, and he fainted. The Rebbe Rashab fainted. They took him out, they revived him, took him out of the Asife, and he came. There was somebody there by the meeting that understood and knew everything, that he was a spy from the government, and came right away, told them what happened there, what the Rebbe Rashab did, and they said, as soon as he come to his room in the hotel, a guard from the government should stay there, and he's arrested. He's under house arrest. Masar Bait. As he was sitting in his room, Reb Chaim Brisker, the Goyen Reb Chaim Brisker came to visit the Rebbe Rashab, how he is. He saw that he fainted and revived him. He wanted to know how the Rebbe Rashab is. He came to ask him how he is, and he saw the Rebbe Rashab is sitting on a chair in. So he told him, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, we did everything we could. Everybody spoke, and you spoke, and we all said we're not going to accept it. Why are you crying? Now we have to rely on the Eibishter. So the Rebbe answered him. The Rebbe said again, this is what my father. He told him with a moshul. There's a moshul, there is a business, and there's somebody who works in the business, and there's the boss of the business. And their pocket is working all day, devoted. He gives over his life, and he works because he's an honest worker, and he does everything he needs. And if there is a time that business is hard, he works in harder. And it could be if somebody comes in and looks, he's going to see that the boss and the worker are working the same thing. Because it's what the only difference is when it comes to the worker goes home, forgets what's going on, he'll go to sleep and he has a nice, good sleep. The boss, he goes home, he did everything what he could. He goes home, he's not sleeping. Why is not sleeping? Because it's his business. That's what Rebbe Rasha Ben said. And this is the idea of this Sicha that's connected to the Sicha that we just learned, with the idea of Mesiras Nefesh that Rebbe brought out so much Kabbalah Soy, not looking. You know, a person lives in Baruch Hashem, he's having a son, is bar mitzvah in 2 weeks. No questions, no ask, no nothing. Goodbye, I'm leaving, I'm going to Morocco. It's just amazing. Especially Rabbi Yom Gorodetsky, that he worked for 70 years. He was devoted mamish, and he opened up. He was the Rebbe's Oibshliach in Europe, in France, and also in Eretz Yisrael also. The Rebbe should have to be Zoche, through the Mesiras Nefesh, for everybody, we should be Zoche to V'nishke Zenzer, Rebbe Dolamato in Aguf Gashmi, V'ui Goleinu Miyad Mamish.